I'm Supermoon Tarot, and in today's video, we're going to be revealing your secrets to you. Compared to yesterday, we're flipping the script from other people's secrets. It's all about you today. And we can all thank my partner for this. I was going through different ideas, and he was like, you should do their secrets. And I thought this was brilliant because we are all masters of blocking things out, shoving it in a corner. It might be clear and obvious as the day is long to everyone else but us. And this includes problems or beautiful things. It doesn't have to be one, negative. It can be good things too in this lifetime, but it can be past oriented as well. We're masters of it. And that's what I want to get into, because it's not just about viewing things that, we can face and therefore deal with, the stuff that might be difficult to look at, but we shouldn't necessarily be ashamed of. We can just face it and be like, oh yeah, you're right, I should face this and work on it, and then therefore feel better and realize how great you are. But it's also about realizing the things that are already wonderful. I cannot tell you how many wonderful people I've known in my life that are like living, walking, what would be comparable, like angels, like just absolutely amazing beings. Anyone, whenever they would meet these people, would just fall in love with them instantly. And you think they would know this, and then you have a slumber party, you have a heart-to-heart, and before you know it, they're telling you about how much they hate themselves. And you're like, how do you not see this wonder, this amazingness? So we're going to be going over both sides of the spectrum essentially today. Now, in addition to that, I wanted to let you guys in on something if you're a fellow tarot reader like me or you love tarot. But this was an idea of my spirit guide. I only have 3 cards pulled for each individual group, and I want to show you how much information you can get from very little. You don't need to pull out 14 cards to get to the answers. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but it's kind of, think of it like a metaphor of, you think that you need to offer the world so much and it's not good enough what is already there within you. And it's about realizing there's a lot more that you're not giving credit for with what you already have. There's more detail going on than you're realizing. So you see what I'm saying here? It's a little bit of metaphor, a little bit of exercise in reading tarot. I thought the whole thing could be very fun. I thought it was a brilliant idea for my spirit guides. So all that being said, we have 4 groups in front of us. Group number 1, a clear quartz. Group number 2, selenite. Group number 3, malachite. Group number 4, tiger's eye. I'm going to give you a moment to pick the group that you resonate with most. Now that you've done that, you can go down to the description where you can skip to your designated group with its marked timestamp, and we can get started with group number 1. Group number 1, let's look at those secrets by looking at the cards. We've got 4 of Cups in reverse, 3 of Wands upright, Ace of Wands upright, and just give me a second to look at these cards. I gotta get all the information. Oh, okay, perfect. All right. So first, let's start off with something I'm certain you will love to hear about in the Ace of Wands. It is all about your physical attraction and what you sort of present to the world. It's actually quite beautiful. I love this because beauty tends to, in popularity, have a different vibe every couple years, months. What is attractive one decade is totally different than 30 years later. Often people will be like, I was born in the wrong decade or whatever. It appears that you were sort of bringing about a new era in your beauty. My spirit guides describe it as fresh. It's something refreshing to experience. Now, this might be difficult for you initially when meeting up with other people. You can sense people are drawn to you, but it's like they haven't quite caught up to it, like they're not hip to it yet always. So they're not, I'm trying to say this in the gentlest way. They might be initially drawn to you, but if you feel like it doesn't seem to pan out, it's because they're like, wait a minute, I don't quite understand. I'm attracted to this typical beauty. I'm trying to mentally understand this. keep in mind, if they can't catch up to what you're offering, I don't know if you want a quote unquote slow partner. I say that very facetiously, but you catch what I'm saying. So just understand that you actually have a really interesting beauty around you, something that you should applaud yourself for and get excited that you have that being offered to the table. But if you feel that people aren't quite getting it initially, that does not mean that you are quote unquote less beautiful. In fact, you're actually above average, which is really cool. But this can kind of help you understand why you feel like maybe disconnected to yourself or disconnected with your interaction with others. You're not quite sure what it is that you have to offer. Just understand that you're sort of ahead of the curve and other people will catch up with this, but it is sort of eluding even you right now. Now over here is a sort of big motif that we're going to really build upon, and it's going to elaborate into other secrets going on here. So in the Four of Cups in reverse, please take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. It's going to sound more intense than it really is. Please just hear it all the way through, because it is a good thing to understand about yourself. But in the Four of Cups in reverse, I can see that you are often privy to certain moods. Now, these moods are very light, not intense. This card is often referred to as the bad mood card, but I'm not trying to describe you as a sour person. It's more like something frustrates you and you kind of can't seem to let it go. It doesn't mean you're a big downer to anyone else. It's just like it's not fun for you to personally experience. This often can also be motivated out of apathy because you're not being stimulated enough. Either way, whether you're bored and you feel like this sort of restless mindset comes from either boredom from your your environment, or it's because something gets under your skin a little easier and it's just hard to let it go. Both of these can be answered and better understood about how you function when we have what's going on over here with the Three of Wands. It seems that you are easily able to get out of these mindsets when you are able to best understand what it is you need to express. You see other people receiving what you have to express, like they connect and agree with that, and then you feel re-stimulated and excited and able to redirect your focus. The main reason why you get kind of hooked up in these bad moods, again, I'm really just using these terms very lightly, is because you're bored. And when you're bored, the only thing that can kind of take you out of this is something more exciting and thrilling. So when you're like, you know what, I don't want to talk about this, or I don't like that this person treated me this way, when you start to realize, oh, that's this new movie I want to talk about, or that's more exciting, or maybe it starts off the conversation with someone else of being like, yeah, I don't like that they treated me this way, or that happened, but then it ends up leading to being like, but did you know they were into this hobby? And then you start talking about the hobby, or you redirect somewhere else, something's more enticing to you. Once you feel like you're heard and something else can, be replaced with this other, thing that's bothering you. And then this is the important thing, that other people hear you, agree with you, connect with you, sort of reflect that back to you, and it's a back and forth process. This just really makes you feel heard. It soothes you. It gets you, like I said, stimulated and inspired about something else. And that's the main thing going on here, is you're not someone with a bad attitude. You are someone who's bored. I find this personality and card often matches someone who's highly intellectual. This often gets paired with emotional intelligence, and I can see that going on with this and these two cards interacting with this. So you're just, so when you feel this popping up and you're like, man, this seems to follow me around way too long, this is how you can kind of pull out of there and get out of that mindset. And I would highly recommend the second you feel bored, the second you feel something is bothering you, start to be like, okay, well then that means I need to be re-inspired. Where can I find my re-inspiration? And sometimes, and this is just to add to this, I'm telling you right now, one of my favorite manifestations I practice on the regular is I'll say something like, I anticipate that I will experience something wondrous. I anticipate that I will be completely inspired in the next 10 minutes. And whatever, you don't have to set a time set. It always happens within an hour. Like a hawk will fly right by my car window. I'll see something like amazing, a little too coincidental. I'll come upon a cool shop I've never seen before. This can be you, and then you can experience the life you truly want to experience. Consider this sort of like an inner compass thing, where it's telling you what's going wrong, where you'd like to really go, essentially. Now, this idea kind of gets extended upon when we have the 3 being highlighted. I'm not just getting 3 from this being the center card. If we look at the numbers over here, 4 and 3, that means there's a 1 in between here. And if you look at the numbers 3 and 1, there would be a 2 in here. And my spirit guide's saying it's not 1 and 2, it's the 1 plus 2, which is 3. So we get the 3 repeated over here. And when we have repetitive numbers or cards, this is sort of where importance is kind of showing itself in the reading. 3 is important. I actually have been going to the Akashic Records a lot lately to get more specifics on information for something special I'm working on. And number 3 is intensely associated with interaction in general, interaction with creation, interaction socially, but it's also about creation. And it's not just about creation, it's like the beginning of creation, the act of creation itself, the interaction you have with that creation. But a big thing about number 3 that I want to highlight here for this specific reading is about the idea of it being a very mutable number. It's very adaptable. The Akashic Record says the number 3 asks you to be aware of the messages you're putting out into the world, and are you willing to have those change and adapt? This is something to be aware, because apparently the way, like, sort of a secret about you is that you're very, like, powered by, and something that really dictates your life is that you're very good at sending and receiving, which is something, a huge strength. I cannot tell you how strong, and that's like one of the literal key components to manifesting whatever your heart's desire is. So you can be aware of this and then use this to your advantage. So with that sort of mutable number coming up in that way, this is about you being aware of, like, you're putting out a lot more to the world than you're aware of. So when you experience something you don't like or you do like, you need to be sort of more self-aware that you were the one that attracted that. And so if something is coming your way and you didn't like it, and it's somewhat like a coworker, instead of blaming the coworker, this is when you pull into yourself and go, what am I putting out there? How do I want to change this? I'm clearly putting something out there that's giving this back to me. Let me evaluate what I really want. Put out the world, what do I really want? A better interaction with a coworker, a better coworker. Maybe they're just not in your life anymore, that type of thing. And then get back the results you'd like. So this is about being aware of the messages you're putting out there and getting back. It's what makes you happy, but it's also a subconscious thing you do in order to entice other experiences you have in life. Now, one last thing I want you to be aware of that will definitely help in the long run whenever you're feeling off or something like this, but an interesting personality trait that you haven't it's like your secret other personality that you need to kind of give more attention to, and you're going to find a lot of benefit from, because it's coming in a lot stronger than the other. Now, these zodiac signs I'm about to go over are not saying that they're your zodiac signs. We're just talking about traits of these zodiac signs and embodiment. So over here we have a Cancer. This is like a very sensitive, this would be very security seeking, very emotion filled. And there's a sort of, I don't want to say a quiet energy about it. It's more like it's just maintaining what is already there rather than building upon it. You see what I'm saying? It's like, this is somebody who's like, how can I manage what's going on right now just to kind of take care of my baseline needs? Now over here in both of these cards, this is an Aries energy. This is strong, intense, confident. They are free to be trusting. They trust other people easily. It's very in your face. They're okay with leading things. They're confident in expressing themselves. They're okay with getting things done. There's not a concern if anybody's going to mess with it and that they have to quote unquote protect their baseline, because they'll just bulldoze through that. They'll get their own thing done. You can't touch them and affect them because they're moving too quickly that you couldn't possibly rub off on their personality or flow or direction they're going on to. So it seems that this energy is actually a lot stronger and something you can take a hold of than you're sort of giving credit for. And this is something that you should consider flipping the script when this sort of energy comes up too much. It doesn't mean this Cancer energy is bad or something you need to push away. It's a wonderful part of yourself. But if you feel like it's taking too much dominance in your life when it comes to just protecting what's already there, just managing what just feeling okay. Like I said, baseline needs being met. Be aware that the thing that will help that, but also something that is meant to sort of like you're ready for the next stage in life, is the energy that like you need to be like, okay, I got this. I'm fierce. I can push ahead. I'm a leader. I'm going to decide my own destiny. And if you're going to mess with me, good luck. I'm going to push right past you. You can't even touch me. And I'm okay trusting people, because even if it doesn't go well, I'll push on to the next person, because it's better to trust than close myself off completely. This only got me so far. I'm ready for the next stage, essentially. So it seems like a secret that's in you is not only this Aries energy that is maybe not being given enough attention and credit for, that you're easily able to tap into, but that seems that you're secretly ready for the next stage of life. You're going to be looking back as you take on this energy at yourself 6 months from now and be like, whoa, I'm a totally different person. You're ready for a change, and I'm pumped for you. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. I certainly did. You have a lot of you got a lot going on for you that I think is quite magnificent. I think you should be excited about it. Please let me know in the comments below, how are you going to tap into that Aries energy? What are the messages you're going to focus on in order to get what you want and create the environment and dreams you want to happen to you and around you? I'd love to know, and I always like to insert that sort of inspiration for others, because remember, you are capable of inspiring others. We already know that. Anyways, please let me know how you enjoyed this video with a like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, helps out the channel like you would not believe. I am wishing you the best. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. And let's get ready for group number 2. Group number 2. Let's look at those secrets by looking at the cards. We have King of Pentacles in reverse, King of Cups upright, 5 of Cups in reverse. Look at all these 5s. Wow. Straight 5s. I can already talk about what this is. Yep, in the yellow. Yeah. Wow, okay, get ready, because your changing self is imminent. Imminent? Like inevitable. I don't know how to pronounce the right word. You know what I'm saying. It's there's no avoiding it. It's happening right now, and sort of we're at a blockage, and we're going to remove that blockage, and we're going to be talking about like kind of your secret hidden powers that are helping everything. So I'm very excited for you, because it's more of a readjustment rather than a rebuilding or trying to build off of something, if that makes sense. Like you're clearing out the debris. So I'm so excited for you with all these 5s. I'm going to be talking about what 5 truly means. I've been going to the Akashic Records a lot. I'm working on something special. And so I got a lot of the deeper meaning of the number 5, and you're going to be so pumped when you hear about it. So first, let's start off with what might be a little hard to hear at first. Keep in mind, don't worry, take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. We're going to be leading to something positive. But the King of Pentacles in reverse. This talks about, at this very moment, this is a temporary secret, if you will. You are sort of defining yourself and your self-worth too much by your success when it comes to financial gain. Sometimes this does get exhibited by what others have in material goods. But either way, it's like, oh, they make this much, or they have this, item of clothing or product or apartment or car or whatever. And there's a feeling of, oh man, if I only had this, then I would be a better person, be more successful. It's just sort of a focus internally for you right now. Now, the reason why I would define this definitely as a secret is when people get in this mindset, they don't even realize it's their main inner monologue and a thing that comes out in their internal way of thinking in really small, subtle little ways. And it's sort of creating this mentality that there's somehow a pedestal in life that you have to get on top of, and this pedestal is only defined in one pillar, which is financial pillar in some way. Now, here's the thing, which is really interesting. The reason why this is being kind of kept from yourself and you're not even realizing it's an issue or it's your main focus and you're kind of hiding it away from others, it's sort of like a quality. Now, I don't want to put words into your mouth that this is not the case, but for some people it can be a sort of embarrassing feeling. You don't want people to know because it almost implies, well, if I'm worried about this, then I'm implying I'm not successful, and it's like a hidden secret of yours that you feel this way about yourself, or you think that it's a fact and that's the case. But the reason why this perspective's even there, that you think it's something to fix, is because you're trying very hard on a subconscious level to block out your true power. And I see it time and time again, that when people have true power, they often deal with the most difficult emotional or mindset perspectives that get really locked in, and it feels tumultuous or difficult being them, and there's a lot of confusion of like, why am I this way, how can I deal with it, I'm not sure. And often your default expression of yourself is like, oh, I'm just not good enough, I'm bad, something's wrong with me, when in reality it's overwhelming to be this powerful. And so as a sort of defense mechanism, your brain, your body, your emotions sort of puts a cap on it in order to help you. But in reality, it's sort of hurting you. We're sort of silly, and it's very much a life lesson being built in order to overcome it, but don't worry about it. It's just the way it is sometimes. So when we talk about this inner power, I want to talk specifically about the yellow in the background. Yellow is associated with the number 6, and the number 6 is amazing. And I can't believe you have 5 and number 6 in here. Both of these are like crazy evolutionary numbers. So the number 6 is described as a higher vibrational thinking type of card. And when you are higher vibrational thinking, this leads to an enormous amount of happiness in your life, but a greater understanding as to how you function, others function. It's more of a seamless flow of you seeing how the world works. It makes it easier for you to flow in the universe, know what to do next, not take things so personally because you kind of get the grander cosmic joke of it all. It's like seeing someone who's very aggressive towards you, and when you are in a higher vibrational thinking type of mindset, you're like, oh my gosh, they're just working their stuff out. Wish you the best, boo. Often people kind of wash over this concept by just being like, I'm sending them love and light, I'm wishing them the best, but they're not connecting to the idea of what's going on and genuinely really meaning that love and light and feeling better for themselves and so on and so forth. You get it actually on a very deep level. You're just masking it, but you being able to tap into that perspective is very much there. It's already there. It's not something you have to build towards. It's just something you more have to realize, if that makes sense. Understand when you are in a high vibrational thinking, these are the people that just money is a magnet to them. There's no more resistance. It's just so much easier to attract better people into your life, friends, romantic, amazing situations, because every time you kind of remove a blockage, and a blockage would be like, example, if someone was not nice to you and you're like, I don't like that reaction, if by you not blocking it and being like, oh, push them away, I don't like them, that's not fair that this happened to me, or they shouldn't treat me that way, they're rude, by being able to quickly be like, oh, I see they're working out their own problems, I wish they didn't work it out on me, but that clearly is in itself a lesson they're learning. I'm just not taking it on. La-da-da, quickly forgot about it, moving on with my day. You're essentially telling the universe, I have no resistance. Please send me all the good fortune there is. And essentially you just become a magnet for good things. And it's really nice to be in a high vibrational thinking for personal enjoyment, but I just see it lead to so much good. Personally, when I am in high vibrational thinking, which I actively try to make sure I'm in that sort of connection, it enables me to have a lot of wonderful spiritual connection and psychic flow. So if that's an interest of yours too, you're very much on the correct route. So This is sort of trying to suppress that going on. And I just want to clarify one more thing before we get into kind of how we can tap into that. This just essentially means it's already there. Once you successfully remove this sort of mindset of focusing on defining your self-worth and defining your self-worth in this way, and slowly start to bring your attention in high vibrational ways, you kind of have to practice it a little bit, but by practicing it, it enables you to reconnect with something that for others, it's something they have to learn. It's like they don't get it at first, they have to practice. For you, you just simply have to exercise it, and you'll quickly be like, wow, I can really connect to this super easy. Now, the way we can see that you can connect to this super easy is over here in the King of Cups and its interaction with the Five of Cups in reverse. This refers to both the Five of Cups in reverse is sort of like overcoming grief, and consider this being both that version of you that needs to overcome grief and being treated through the King of Cups mentality, but it's also helping other people. Both of these practices onto yourself and other people when you interact with them. It doesn't mean you have to go out and help the world, but just when you interact with others and they are in the state of mind, when you have this reaction in the King of Cups, this is sort of the exercise that will enable you to tap into what's already there. So the King of Cups is somebody who's extremely emotionally mature. They are sort of able to play a devil's advocate if they were like being the mediator between two different people. They can hear both sides, understand both perspectives, and able to help those people in the situation kind of come to a conclusion and a compromise that they too both can be happy with, because this person does not become sucked into the emotions. They don't take it on because they understand they don't have to feel it and then hold on to it. They are able to the way that I can express it is like, think of yourself as like the grown-up helping two little sweet babies fighting over a toy. It's like you can do that perspective. You as an adult be like, it's okay, sharing's not a big deal. It's all right. Don't you see that wasn't fair that you called the other person a name? And isn't it not fair that you reacted in that quick way? Let's take a moment, let's breathe. Maybe we can find a way to both share this toy, or maybe we can get another toy. See how easy that is for you to be in that perspective? Well, think of approaching yourself in that way when you have grief. How can you basically be, and this is what my spirit guide's telling me, how can you practice sort of taking an outside perspective of the situation, either for yourself or others? How can you be your own best friend, your own mentor, your own help, and kind of pull away from yourself in those times of grief? Help yourself. That would be sort of your higher vibrational thinking. Often people describe this sort of technique as being your higher self. We've talked about that. I have other videos on your higher self of how to connect to that version of yourself. So if you want to extend that sort of thinking and mentality, you're welcome to go for it. Enjoy that. I can always do another video. I love doing videos on your higher self. But you get what I'm saying. Now, the main thing I want you to take away from this is with the number fives. Kings are fives, and over here we have all fives. The reason why I got so excited for you is while the number 6 is like you're in it. You're in that higher vibrational thinking. You reached it. The number 5 is the curiosity. It's described as being associated with change, and it's about being aware of what is happening now is no longer working for you. It can be a way of life. It can be a perspective. And when a 5 pops up, it's saying, now we're going to evolve past that. Whatever was working for you then has served its purpose, and now we're going to be changing to the new. 5 is often, this is just sort of like me on my, campaign to speak highly of the number 5. Often 5 is associated with negative things, chaos, conflict. This is just not true. I looked in the books. It's nowhere to be found. In fact, my spirit guide, I know this might be controversial to say, but my spirit guide says there is absolutely no chaos. But that is a whole conversation for another day. If you want me to do a video about it, sure, but I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers. I'm just telling you what I read. But when I was reading about the number 5 in the Akashic Records, they talked about how 5 is about change, and you either resist change or you go with change, but change is happening nonetheless. And people often think when things are changing, therefore it is automatically uncomfortable and bad, but it's only as uncomfortable as you resist it. And 5 always is leading to number 6, which is a higher vibrational thinking. So you are always evolving for the better, not the worse, even if it may seem initially like that may be the case. That is just, I mean, I'm trying to come from a very sympathetic approach because we've all been in circumstances where it was a big change and it didn't feel like it was for the better. You know what I mean? But it's about trusting in sort of the journey. Now, I want to be clear here. This is just me talking about the number 5. I do not feel that this change is a bad one or you're heading in an uncomfortable direction. Sometimes to go up, it feels like we're going down. That's not the case for you. I'm happy to report it won't be like that. It's just more of a calmer, happier, loving, like rediscovering who you really are, enjoying your natural gifts and abilities, comforting yourself, totally taking on a different mindset, evolving for the better. It can be uncomfortable with the evolution of change in number 5, and I do want to say that can happen. This is not the case for you, and I am so happy to hear that because, like I said, I can't say this enough. I know I'm going off the script here a little bit, but it's kind of like we can talk about, oh, don't worry, it's going to be better. But like, who cannot relate to when something's uncomfortable? Sometimes you're just not in the right state of mind to hear, don't worry, it's going to get better. And you're like, well, it's not better right now. So if you ever in the future are in a situation where it feels uncomfortable, try to back away the best you can, very King of Cups, and be like, I'm going to trust in the process. And the less I resist this, the faster the process will happen. And I will get to this uncomfortability faster, understand the lesson faster, and get to the real place I want to be. But that's a side note. I just want to say that in case you ever need to hear that. Well, anyways, please let me know in the description below, what is a way you sort of exercise your, King of Cups, your emotional mature. Oh my, I'm sorry, I just looked up at the clock and it says 555. Did I not? I am having synchronicities out the wazoo. I love this. That's so amazing. Anyways, please let me know how you express your King of Cups mentality with others or yourself. How do you like to journal it? How do you like to approach it? What type of questions do you ask yourself? What's a way that you are excited about this evolution and change? How can you best connect to your higher vibrational thinking? Is there an exercise that maybe you can share with others and inspire them as well? Please let me know in the comments below. I am wishing you the best. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell with this video. And let's get ready for group number 3. Group number 3, let's look at your secrets by looking at the cards. We've got a very hilarious 10 of Swords in reverse, 9 of Pentacles in reverse, and, oh wow, 3 of Swords in reverse. Okay, I know exactly what's going on here. Let me just look at everything to get all the information. Yeah. Okay. Let's get into this. So this is going to be initially difficult to hear, but I want you to keep an open mind because this is a frustrating sort of like hump or stagnation going on in your life that can feel very unfair. It's not a fun place to be in life. But I do see so much hope and good things right on the horizon. It's like literally right on the edge. And by the end of this reading, we can get there, get you out of this hump, and get you looking forward to some awesome things that are literally right around the corner. So I'm pumped about that. So the first thing going on here is the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. This is sort of a secret that you definitely keep from other people. Not that well, I'm being shown. Like, it's like you make kind of little comments and people are picking up on it, but it's definitely something you're good at kind of denying of yourself. And this is when somebody takes on the lacking mindset through expressing themselves or feeling connected to the idea that other people are getting things that you are also deserving of, but you're just unfortunately not getting it yet. This can feeling like you're not getting the promotion you deserve, getting the love you deserve, the connections you deserve, being treated correctly, getting appreciated, acknowledged, gifts, rewards, whatever that may be. And it's super frustrating, especially when we have this Virgo energy popping up in the 9 of Pentacles, and just the 9 of Pentacles itself is a very hard-working card. Effort is being made on your part, and the reward is not being given back. So it is not fun to experience, and it's super understanding that you feel this way. But the problem happens is you keep sort of like the best way I can put it is, when we are not in the present moment, we feel off. This can be focusing too much on the past or too much on the future. But in your case, you're viewing things through sort of a warped timeline, a timeline that's not even within this one. It's an ambiguous thing of what could be, but what isn't hoping to be in the future. You know what I mean? You're like off the total mindset. And because you internally feel off and not in the present moment, therefore you don't feel like yourself, because the true version of who you want to be and express yourself and be connected to is in this present moment, it creates you feeling more off. So the way you try to sort of fix that or cure that is thinking on, well, I'd like to have all these things, I'm working towards them, and then when you continue to not see the proof, it only manifests in more of this mindset, which this mindset causes more of sort of this blockage between you and receiving this other stuff. It is not a fun cycle to be in, and it's completely understandable that you're struggling with that. I can also see with the color green, which is associated with understanding, and the color yellow, which is all about confidence and higher vibrational thinking. You're trying to wrap your mind around this. You haven't quite, this is where we want to get you to, and higher vibrational thinking is somebody who can see the bigger picture, who doesn't take things too harshly because you kind of trust in the journey, that it will all work out the way it's meant to work out. It's somebody who can kind of gain a outside objective third-party perspective. People often associate this mentality with being your higher self. And this will make things feel smoother for you. This will make things feel flow your way a lot easier, all this positive stuff, and we want to help connect you with that. And we can get into specifics in that way. Now over here, this talks directly about the idea of this mentality specifically needing to end, and it is highly emphasized in both of these cards. When we have a 10 of Swords in reverse situation, this implies in a really great way that there is something right around the corner. It's right there, and this is sort of the final blockage that needs to be moved, overcome, whatever the word choice or perspective you have in your particular situation. And right on the other edge is all this great stuff, and this mindset needs to be gotten rid of in order to get there, essentially. So it's like confirmation of being like, we need to get there, but it's also the subtext that this great stuff is right on the other edge. I can't preference this enough, especially with the Nine of Pentacles being there. Normally when the Nine of Pentacles is upright, this is somebody who has worked hard and is really enjoying their wealth. They are buying, they're really living a lap of luxury, they're spending it, they're enjoying it, more is coming their way, they're confident about it. So this feeling of like this great stuff you want to have is right on the edge, it's right there, and we need to overcome this through that perspective. This idea gets extended upon when we have the Three of Swords in reverse. When we have a Three of Swords in reverse situation, this also repeats the idea over here of like, you need to overcome this, you need to let go of this mentality, it needs to end. But it's showing me how much pain it is causing you deeply. This can even involve the idea of feeling like someone's betrayed you because of how much other people are kind of succeeding and you're not. Maybe you feel betrayed by the universe. It is a very uncomfortable, painful feeling. But when it's in reverse, it implies that you're sort of trying to fix the solution, fix you in order to attract more success and receive this feeling that you're seeking by kind of pushing through this problem. It's like someone sweeping an issue over the rug or moving too quickly when they really need to take time to heal and solve the core problem. And the reason why you're skipping over it is you think the answer to all your feelings is through the proof of this. Now, I want to be clear about this. Proof is coming up from the interaction between the cards here. The number between 10 and 9 is 1, and the numbers between 9 and 3 is 6, and my spirit guide says these numbers need to be added together to equal 7. So 7, as it's being read in the Akashic records, as I've been going to as of late, 7 is all about the idea of receiving results, like receiving proof for some sort of choice you've made. And you are like, okay, I want to receive this sense of harmony, because 7 talks about the trying to get to a place of harmony by making a choice that's sort of fulfilling the missing piece of your puzzle. So it's someone who's being proactive, but it's needing to see some sort of proof and being like, hey, did my actions add up to anything? And this is the mentality that needs to end. It's not working for you. We can just think logically here, and this is not me berating you. I'm just trying to speak to that part of your mind that's like, yeah, but what if I do this? We're going to talk to that part of your mind. Well, you've been doing that part of your mind, and that hasn't been working. Let's try something different. So one way that you kind of want to sort of ultimately get to is somebody who isn't seeking proof, but is in the moment enjoying, the work they do right now, enjoying life, not putting weight on what will be or what is. You're super present in the moment. You're happy. You're realizing your worth, all that jazz. But if that transition is difficult for you, and we want to kind of like push, find some sort of training wheels to get to that mentality, start making a list of what you've already accomplished now, what you're already doing right now, and say like how much that already means to you and that you feel it's worth. Not what it's received, what you feel attached to. Are you proud of what you did? Don't compare it to anything. Start baby steps. Start being connected to what already is and giving yourself credit in this moment. And then you want to slowly sort of curb out the thoughts whenever the thoughts are like, well, I want to receive success. Where's my success? Stop that mentality. You want to be like, you know what? I'm really proud of who I am. And don't fulfill that sentence with, I'm really proud of who I am, and that's okay if I haven't received success yet. No. I'm pretty great. I'm pretty happy with who I am. And again, not despite not receiving, none of that, only I really like what I've accomplished. I like who I am. I feel like I'm a pretty great person. I really enjoy what I have to offer. I'm excited about what I have to offer. I anticipate this could be worth a lot at some point in time. I'm really excited about that. I feel it's worth it and I'm happy about it. Again, there should be no comparison to proof needing to be shown, worrying about what others have received. You're totally flipping the script. And by flipping the script, you essentially are opening yourself up to a new vibrational frequency. Manifestation and things that we want are attracted by the mentality we have. The things where it gets confusing is often we are unaware of how we are expressing these ideas and how they come across, and we aren't aware of when we're taking on a sort of lacking mindset, and often, maybe we're trying to think positively and we're like, why is it not coming yet? And often we're not aware of the nuances of letting go and all this other jazz. So to put it simplistically, this perspective of being really appreciative of what you have and continuing to see all the success you see within your work and what you have to offer and feeling like, yeah, it's pretty great, with no subtext of despite or win or just be pumped about it, is sort of opening yourself up to a vibrational frequency where the universe is like, well, I have to match that. They are great. They are successful. They are amazing. And then all this beautiful stuff sort of flows into your life and helps you simultaneously in the process before you even fully received the proof you ultimately in the end would like to receive, and you will receive it. It's like when you let go of the proof comes in. It's very similar to when people are looking for love and they're like, where's the love of my life? They stop looking, the person pops up. It's very similar to that concept. This will ultimately make you feel good in the process and heal this sort of betrayal feeling, this pain that you've been going through. You're going to feel a lot more relaxed because you've been needing to let go of this mentality for some time. And I do see you being rewarded for this. You have worked hard for this. The best way to look at this too is over here when we have the Gemini being represented over here and the Libra being represented over here. These are two super over contemplative zodiac signs. They think way too much. They need thinking and contemplation and understanding, and this is just not working for you anymore. It needs to end. You need to be more focused on the Virgo energy going over here. The Virgo is proactive and is really deep in, it's funny, there's a contemplative energy about it too, because there's a lot of like deep understanding and detail details and stuff like that, but it's the enjoyment of looking into the process of like, how can I make this better? I feel really great about it. And it's coming from a perspective of not self-hate and thinking it's not good enough and needing more and that kind of jazz. It's someone's coming from the perspective of being like, I love what I do. I enjoy the act of doing it. How can I do it even better? Because it's fun to know about that. And you're just sort of lost in your work and creating this energy around you that gets reflected back. So I'm excited for you to overcome this hump that you sort of are trapped into and get the relief that you need and the rewards you most definitely deserve. Please let me know in the comments below. What are the rewards you're excited in receiving? What's the first thing you're going to buy when you do receive it? I would love to know all the details in the comments below. Again, if you enjoyed this video, also give it a like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Helps out the channel like you would not believe. Have a lovely day. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. And let's get ready for the final group. Group number 4. Group number 4. Let's look at those secrets by looking at the cards. We have the Empress in reverse, the Devil card in reverse. Oh, wow. 3, and the Hangman upright. Wow, that's 3 major arcanas. Interesting. I don't read major arcanas the way a lot of people do, due to each card holding its own sort of meaning. So I just think it's still interesting. These are all major arcana cards, but that's a conversation for another day. Let me just look at all of this to make sure I got everything. Okay, cool. I actually see some really good stuff kind of like on the horizon and a little bit of like what's already right there and about acknowledging it. So I'm excited to go over that as well. But we need to, sort of the big secret is the way, how do I explain this? I feel hesitant to say this because I feel a form of embarrassment around it. I don't feel embarrassed for you that you have this sort of thing you keep under wraps going on here in the Devil card, but it feels embarrassing for you, something that's like cringeworthy for when you think of it. So I just want to be clear that that is not how I see it. That's not how many others see it, but this is the vibe I'm picking up around the secret. So the main thing being presented here is in the Devil card in reverse. Where do I want to start? With the card itself, it talks about their idea of what is and isn't. It's like mostly around the idea of unhealthy habits. Now, I don't currently see you in one. You're not like in a really, you seem like you have things under control, but it feels like you define your life and your happiness as, am I out of control and being controlled by this unhealthy habit and trying to fulfill what can make me happy and feel good by, this can be anything from food to interactions with romantic partners, to, a menage of things you can put into your body, anything. It can be more abstract. Unhealthy habits can be a certain way we put ourselves down. But whatever this may be, you're defining your life as you're either in the unhealthy habit or you're not in the unhealthy habit. And it's totally understandable when people are suffering from this on and off in their life. It's this feeling of I don't know any other way other than keeping my eye on it and trying to control it. And there's an irony in that when we have what's going on over here in the Empress card. See, the Empress card, she is turning away from the Devil card because this is who you truly are. This is where you're going to end up. This is a lot of what's already kind of right there. It's just about leaving this behind, both of these cards behind, in order to receive and fully enjoy what's going on here. So this is why she's turning away. She's just I don't want to have anything to do with that. When the Empress card is upright, she is, first of all, I can tell you right now, this is a little bit of a secret to you, but you are quite an attractive person. You kind of keep this under wraps. Maybe you feel like you don't want attention from certain other people and you feel like ashamed of it or feel afraid to express yourself. You're afraid you might attract unwanted attention, or you're embarrassed, or think maybe people you think they'll judge you or think you're full of yourself or something like that. Please do not hide this. You are very beautiful. It's coming through very intensely. Enjoy it, live it up. The more you kind of see it in a positive light, the more you will attract positive interactions, and the other sort of fears you have will fall away to the wayside. That's just how it kind of is. It's kind of like when people give themselves more protection, there's more things to be afraid of, and the more you see life as like a trusting, open place, that's what you receive more of. It's kind of the hidden secret of the universe. It's weird and kind of catch-22, but that is basically, how it is. So enjoy your beauty that I'm seeing. But I want to talk more about the Empress representing this concept of like unstoppable abundance. She does not censor it. It flows out of her naturally. And when I say abundance, I'm referring to everything from beauty to wealth to good things to expressing herself, everything. She is just overflowing with a lot. And these are good a lot, if that makes sense. So she cannot truly be the most affluent, abundant version of herself if she's got to censor it, if she's got to keep an eye on it. Think of this card as the weeds in the garden. If she's constantly focusing with her cute little weed whacker, or I don't know what those chemicals are called when they kill the weeds in your grass, that stuff. If she's focusing on that, she is not allowing herself to freely flow. And so it's about getting you to this mindset where you're no longer seeing yourself as someone who is within an unhealthy habit or not in an unhealthy habit. You're just it's not even in your line of thought. And a great way to sort of start branching towards that mindset is through two different practices three I will talk about. So one of those practices is when you start to feel like you're focusing on you're doing good or bad, like that type of mentality, you're going to just sort of censor those thoughts and be like, I'm going to just think about the wall. I'm going to think about my favorite TV show, and just practice not thinking about it and giving that attention, because you've sort of trained your mind to go towards that direction. We want to just not have it be the most common thought in your head. And by pure logic, if you give other thoughts more dominance in your head, then therefore that's what you receive. That's what becomes the most dominant thought and attention in your head, and it can get you more towards this mindset. So you maybe want to focus things on being more abundant in your life, not thinking of life in contrast, but just thinking of what's already great right now and what can be built upon this. And this is going to sort of die out, which we love. The other thing is to understand, why are you in this mindset? The two main reasons are popping up over here in this card, and actually both of these cards have a similar mentality. So the Empress card is ruled by Venus, the planet Venus, and I was in the Akashic Records. I'm doing something special, and I'm excited to talk about it soon, but I was actually visiting the spirit of Venus. I want to be clear about this. There is Venus, another being, and then there is the spirit of Venus. So this spirit of the planet Venus expresses the idea that she in fact more represents the idea not of chasing your desires, but the more receiving the certainty and security after receiving your desires. She drew this whole, I'll explain this at another time, but you just need to know that she explained that what we do is we want something because we feel when we receive it, we will feel secure now, like we've gotten it, whatever that be, the satiation of having a romantic partner, having the money you need, feeling confident in how you look, whatever that may be, but it's a sense of security once you receive the thing that you want. And then once you receive it, you feel like your baseline needs or whatever those needs are met, which then motivates you to get the next thing, and so on and so forth. And it's very much a journey rather than the destination process. And keep in mind, this is a good cycle to be in. It's not about you wanting too much. It's very affluent and abundant in nature, and understanding, okay, I will receive that desire and security, then I'll get that next security and desire. But you understand what I'm saying is that sense of security, of having enough. A gaining mentality, an abundant mentality. And then over here, with this card being ruled by Saturn, this is somebody who is more concerned with the order of things. They want things to be in a certain way because they gain a sense of security by knowing that it's working out in that kind of manner. You see what I'm saying here? See how that sense of security and certainty keeps being repeated? You kind of want to retrain yourself by being like, I'm not gaining certainty and security by sort of, the best way I can explain it is, imagine you have this really angry animal on the other end. I'm not going to pick a particular animal because they're all beautiful and I love them, and it's more of a what's happened to them in the world rather than particular breed or animal or whatever. So there's an angry animal on the other end. There's another angry animal on the end. And you're like, okay, either it's attacking me and I'm defending myself, or I've got it on a leash, I'm keeping it at a distance, I'm feeding it so it leaves me alone, I'm doing what I need to. And feeding it, think of that as sort of taking the bait when you feel like you need to comfort yourself in the moment and de-panic by just constantly managing this one, I have it or I don't have it kind of emotion. You see what I'm saying here? So it's about redirecting and being like, does that really make me feel safe and secure? What can I replace? What does make me feel safe and secure? How can I redefine that by practicing those thoughts, practicing redirecting my attention to those places? And you can be like, well, I don't know if I feel necessarily safe and secure in the long run by constantly re-engaging with these thoughts and attention and emotions, but I do feel pretty safe and secure when I feel like I'm just having some time alone, or when I realize how good I look that day, or I'm really proud of who I am and what I've accomplished, and I'm just kind of enjoying the moment, or whatever that may be. And slowly realizing that by seeing the abundance, the good things you have in life, the good things that you attract in your life, so on and so forth, that type of mentality is more securing and better feeling and longer lasting than these quick sort of just, everything's okay, quick in the moment type of mentality. The other thing that's the issue with redefining security as well is over here in the Hangman upright. This, coming from the planet Neptune, being ruled by the planet Neptune, talks about this idea of perfection and blurring the lines in order to receive it. It's like perfection's held on one end, it's about like seeing through that. How can you bring that closer to you? How can you make your dreams and fantasies closer to you and connected? But the main thing my spirit guide is pointing out is this idea that you're holding your life and the way you view yourself and how you interact with others and however you want to view it in a definitive way of perfection. There's this ideal way it needs to be. And it's so hard for you to let that go. And you're just like, I can't, this is how I see it. I can't let it go. I feel like if I let it go, I'm settling and I'm bothered by it and I can't view it. And it's sort of keeping you in one fixed, stagnant perspective. And this perspective is one that does not involve any sort of momentum building towards something better at all, in the least. And so it's not about sort of settling. It's about, again, not viewing things as perfect, ideal, what is or isn't there, again, repeated just like what we talked about in the Devil card in reverse. Instead, when we take an abundant, an Empress, Venus sort of mentality, this is someone who's thinking of all the things they do see that they like. Again, it's not about settling for what they don't like. If you really don't like something, you can say, no, I don't want this, or I need to change things up, or whatever. But it's about really just focusing on being like, well, I like this. I enjoy that I'm appreciating this. This is pretty great about myself. And soon that's all you can see. And in a way, you do receive the perfection you long desire. But it's that ironic thing. It's like as soon as you let it go, you then receive it. So I'm excited for you. You're very beautiful. And you have a lot of good things around you and wanting to naturally be drawn to, because when we are the Empress, it's like we don't really have to do much but redirect our attention, and that includes allowing ourselves to be less resistant to accepting things. And these things are a form of resistance. And once we pull that out of our way, become more open, you can definitely be more open by being more meditative throughout the day, whether in the moment or practicing meditation 10 minutes at a time. I highly recommend that. It's life-changing to do that. And you're just going to find yourself receiving all of this good you've been wanting. You've been trapped in a cycle for a while. You deserve to be free. You deserve to enjoy all the good things that are naturally being drawn to you for the good person that you truly are. So please let me know in the comments below all the good things you're looking forward to receiving and accepting. I'm very excited to hear about it. Please tell me how hot you are in the comments below. Rate yourself. No, don't do that. I was kidding. I was kidding. I'm only accepting that if you rate yourself as a 10. 11s. Actually, rate yourself 11. 11. So I look forward to talking to all you hotties in another video. I'm wishing you the best. Please give this video also a like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell, especially if you're already subscribed. Please, it helps out the channel like you would not believe. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next one. And yeah, goodbye.